people, about 99 people out there. So now I look down for a name of somebody that I recognize on my line instead of all my wife's family. Never figured out why they all come up first. Maybe it's because, who knows. So we'll just keep looking until I find somebody that I'm interested in. And you do the same thing. I mean, you're going to have lots of names and lots of people, and you're going to have to pick and choose which of the people that you bring up that you would like to find out about and do research on. So we keep looking, and we finally get down to some people that are in my family. Let's see. Let's see if I can find somebody. And another question is going to come up. You're going to look at this list and you're going to say, who are these people? If you upload your whole GEDCOM file, you're going to look at this list and you're going to go, I have never heard of these people before. And it'll take you a little while to figure out. But you can go to them and it'll tell you exactly how you're related to them. But sometimes you've got names in there. They're spouses of people that you know, some uncle, great-great-uncles or something, and their parents that you've stuck in. And you find all sorts of people in there. Okay, well, we'll take Pearl. Pearl's my cousin, and she was Marion Tanner, my uncle's daughter, a really good friend of mine. So we'll go here and review the match with Pearl and see what happens. Now, this is one difference with MyHeritage. You probably relate to indexing. And in indexing, you go across and you take out some of the names and some of the dates, and that's it. You've got the record. MyHeritage on the census record, extracts all the information on the entire record, every single entry.
Why are we doing index?
For everybody.
Why are we doing index?
And so, what they're searching this entire record. And down here you'll see they have the enumeration district, the line, the series, the image, the roll, and the sheet, and all that's broken out. So you could go find the original if you needed to. But if you go down a little bit on the record, you'll see there's the original record. You can look at that, look at it full screen if you want to pop it out. So there's your whole thing. You can download a copy of that to your computer. Go back. Now they've listed everybody in the household. So they have my Uncle Marion, his wife Belle, Pearl, Evan, Mildred, Alma, and Charles Tanner, all of the children. And I can go down here, and now we see that there's another whole bunch of records for Pearl and those people. But now I'm going to confirm the record, and we'll see what happens. Click, continue. Now I can move, if I look at this one carefully, first of all you'll see all the family members pop up little icons for the family members, so you can kind of navigate the family real quick. But right here, you see some arrows, and those arrows mean that it will move this information across. Since this information is either better or not the same as what's here, there are no arrows. So if I click this bottom arrow, it'll just automatically move that whole column across. Okay, but if I just look down the sheet before I even do that, if I push that button, then everything comes across, and here's all of the source information, including everything in the census and links to all the other people. But then when I get down here, there's 6 more people. So here's her parents, and here's her mother, and here's a brother that I didn't have in my file yet. So now I can add him. And Mildred and Alma and everybody down here. And now if I just click this bottom button, I could have just gone to the bottom and clicked that one button. It would then move all that information in as sources at once. And then I save it out to the tree, and it saves a copy of the census record and all of the citations and all the links to the others with every single one of those people.
And it's also
added all those new people to the family tree.
Wow.
All in one click.
That is so easy compared to family search.
Okay. So.
Wait. But when you click the button that has the 3 things on that country and everything.
Right.
You said there was information at the top that didn't match.
And if it doesn't, if there's no arrows, then keeps the same information you have. You would have to type it in if you wanted to copy something over.
So just so I'll make sure I understand, I had a similar situation. I was working through a family tree using U.S. Census records. And one of the things I discovered was there were like 4 other children that had never been entered in the family tree. And so the way I had to do that was one at a time.
Right. No, absolutely. This
click that button and they're all in your tree.
They're all in the tree.
Wow. Okay, so there's got to be a tree up here.
Okay. So let's go back to Pearl now and see the next step here, and look at her profile. And what happens here is this is the individual profile, and you can edit that profile. You can change anything, put in marriage name, you can put in her married name, you can put in her birthday, which is here, and you can mark her deceased, which she is, okay? And you have to be careful on these is to keep going through and checking people to make sure they're being marked deceased. If they don't have the little black line on the family tree view, then you know you haven't marked them deceased. So in order for it to work properly, you have to keep marking them deceased.
To move this information to family tree to do temple work, I still have to enter it manually?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, you'd still, right now. The answer is, what if you have to move over information to family tree? Any information you're moving to family tree, you'd have to do, pull up the 2 screens and copy and paste or whatever. But that's supposed to be coming. We'll see whenever. I don't ever predict times. They always tell me they're going to have family search done by the end of the year, but they've never told me the right year. So. So now we have this, we save it, close it, go back to the profile. And here you'll see at the bottom all the people in her family. And we'll see now that there are 3 additional records that they found for this person. Now that's called the record detective. So here we go back through the series. First you have Super Search, which is the basic search engine they built. Then they use that to create smart matches, which means you're matching people in pedigrees. Then you have record matches where they're matching each individual in the pedigree in your family line to sources that are out there. And then after you've either confirmed or clicked on the person or whatever, then the record detective goes out and finds more records on everybody.
Some of those records have a question mark. What does that mean?
That means I haven't confirmed those yet. Yeah, so there's one I've confirmed, which was the census record, and now here's a birth and christenings record, a Arizona birth record, and another census record that I could confirm. And so as I'm building this, and you can see, for example, if you go back to your parents, and we have 1940 census, and you go back to your parents and find them in the 1940 census or the 1930 census or the 1920, depending on when they were in their family with their parents, then you'll be able to add their whole family automatically from there as you go back. And so you'll just keep clicking. And as you sit there and be a little patient as you fill in some information and then start searching and finding census records, you can build back 2 and 3 generations in a matter of half an hour or so.
If you previously have entered census records on your genealogy information, and then you come across this one, does it filter it and not add it, or just adds it anyway?
So you mean if it's already added? Oh, you mean if you already added?
If say you've done it like a year ago, and then you find this one this year, and so you're transferring all this information, you hit that button that says transfer everything.
No, it doesn't duplicate it.
Oh.
Okay, so no, you don't come up with duplicate records.
It's already on your tree.
But if it's already on your tree, unless you've attached it to all the people, it's going to come up with a check mark. I mean, you're not going to. And you can filter out on your list, I didn't show you that, but you can filter out all the people that you've confirmed, all the records you've confirmed. So if you confirm records, then you can just filter the list so that it doesn't show those confirmed people, the ones that you've told us correct. Okay, so now what we've done is we've attached these records, we've added people to the family, we're to the situation, and now as we keep going, we go back to home, and we see that, assuming we get back there sometime in the future, go. We see now I still have that many record matches left, and I have smart matches. So now we can do our tree. Now the last one of the, we're going a little bit over time here, but basically what we're talking about here is that the program allows you to, as you're going in, and this is what I suggest, and this is what I've said, kind of talked a little bit about as we've gone along. The way this program would work best is if you started out, when you do a new family tree, if you just you could do more than one tree. So you could upload your GEDCOM if that makes your life feel much better. And then you could just start the same thing with your tree. Now here's the problem you're going to run into. And I'll show you how that works. Let me just go ahead and go and start a tree to show you how it works to get a new tree. You go to Manage Trees, which is under Family Tree. And then we can add a family tree. Now notice here I have another tree. This is someone I was helping with their genealogy, so I just put their pedigree into MyHeritage just in case they could find a record that would be helpful. But now I can go add a family tree. And now I get some choices. I don't have a genealogy program yet. I have a family tree builder on MyHeritage, etc. Now the first one, I don't have a genealogy program. If you say this, they will suggest that you download Family Tree Builder. Family Tree Builder is the MyHeritage program that they've developed. Right now it's rated about 4.6 stars out of 5 in the genealogical software reviews. And it's very full-featured. I mean, it's free, absolutely free. There's no tie-in. You're not going to get a certain number of names until you have to go buy a new program or anything else. Completely free, completely works. The only limitation is it works only on PC, Windows. It does not work on a Macintosh. But the whole program works on a Macintosh because it works on all the computers, so it doesn't really matter. It's just if you want the program on your computer. So that's what it's saying. If I don't have a program, they're going to say you can use that. And Family Tree Builder, everything you put in the program will synchronize to your tree. Everything you put in your tree will synchronize to the program.
So repeat that part of what you said about Mac.
Yeah.
They don't have a Mac version of the
So you
tree
can't
builder.
hit the first block and put it on your
Well,
Mac.
you could, but if you don't have a genealogy program, it works. But if it says I have Family Tree Builder, then you've already got it on a PC because you don't have it on a Mac. And the third one, I created a family tree in another genealogy program. That means you've got it in any other program. And they're going to walk you through the process of exporting a GEDCOM from your program and uploading a GEDCOM to the file if you wish to do that. The last choice is I want to create an online family tree without the use. That's the one I would select. And so if I were able to go back, I mean, I would love to have gone back 30 years when I started this and have this kind of a tool. I mean, it would make my life so different. Right now, I probably wouldn't be here. I'd be sitting on the beach looking at the sunsets because I wouldn't have anything left to do. No, I'm kidding. I'd probably be here anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, now, how do I do this? Well, I put in my father's name. And then I put in my mother's name. And it's a good idea to put in your full names if you know them. And then I might just throw in a birthplace for me, just in case they worry about where I am. Like I said, it's very helpful if you can spell, especially Salt Lake, and Utah, and United States.
Do you not put in mother's maiden name?
Okay, now we skip go, and all that happens is it creates a little tiny family tree with my people. Now, the first thing that's going to happen when you do this is you're going to need to get some dates and places in there. And you're also going to need to go in and make sure that, see, you'll notice there's no little black lines, so you're going to have to click on this person's profile, edit their profile, and mark the person deceased. And then you could add in birthplaces and birth names and things like that. Or you can sit around and wait and see if the program will tell you all that information for finding sources. So it depends on how much you like to type and how much information you already have. Okay, so let's go back to the family tree. And now I'll do the same thing with my mother's side. Now here's an interesting thing about this program. I've told the program only a certain amount of information. I haven't given very much information. But if I go out to home with this family tree, look what happens. I have 7,990 smart matches already for this. Why? Because it already knows that I already have a tree, and they figured out that I'm putting in the same information. So they're saying, duh, I've already given you 8,000 sources. What are you doing this for? You know. Anyway, so it'd be kind of useless to keep going on.
And you don't use maiden names for the mother, you use the married name?
Oh, did I put in Tanner?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's oversight. I'm sorry, I should have put in Morgan.
Oh, okay.
I can go change it. Let me show you how you change it. You simply click on this person, and it says Edit Details over here. I should have said, oh, well, they're cousins. No, they were cousins, but they weren't quite that cousin. Now, one little tiny detail that left, and then we'll let you get on with other help. You'll see how this is Jersey, Messi, Morgan, parentheses, Tanner. Well, you have a whole bunch of choices of how to do that, 4 to be exact. And you do that by going up under your name and going to Site Settings. And there'll be a test, but of course you won't remember this part. It's like a driving test for Utah if you want to try to get a new driver's license. But here you have married name with the born maiden name. You have the maiden name with the married name. You can have just the married name, or you can have just the maiden name. Well, some of us prefer just the maiden name. And so if you do that, then everybody in your database will end up with just their maiden name instead of all the parentheses married name type thing. The reason why I think it's a little confusing to have the married name up there is they may have been married 2 or 3 times or more.
Exactly.
So which of the names are you going to pick? You know, in other words, that kind
There's only one here.
yeah, but sometimes it depends on how you put it in. Another thing that happens is be careful not to put something in the name field. So don't, I've seen people go, you know, like Richard, parentheses, twin, Smith. Well, that parentheses twin is going to be considered a name. And how many places are they going to find a source with that in it? You've just blocked that person from being searched. So you need to go in and take out all that extraneous kind of stuff that people have. If you want to put in mixed names and all that kind of stuff and all the information about these people, the program goes on almost indefinitely. Every time I go on here, I find new things that I can add in if I wanted to. And usually in response to people asking me questions. Okay, any questions about anything at this point? Sure.
The comment always comes up, living. Can living people be seen by everyone?
Say again.
Can living people be seen by everyone?
Okay, living
There's always
people.
people always panicking.
Good question about living people. Living people come up with a standard name called living. And so you don't see anything about living people. But I mentioned it's kind of not impossible, but it's a little bit not obvious how to go look at somebody else's family tree. And you have to go through some steps. So it's not like the other programs where you really need to worry about, you know, putting in some kind of information. Additionally, it's a social networking program, so what they're going to ask you to do every time you get on into the main home base over here is they're going to have a whole long list of people, not in this one, but if I go back to my other tree, let's go back to my other family tree. If I go here, they're going to have people all over the place to suggest eventually, I don't know why they're not showing up right now, but usually they'll have a list of people showing up suggesting you may want to contact these people. And they may want to add events and things, all sorts of things. So there's always things that they're adding. And that will tell you that your great-great-great-grandmother had a birthday or whatever, if you're interested.
So you have two family trees or why would you have more than one family tree?
Why would you have more than one family tree? Only if you're demonstrating the program.
For helping someone.
Or helping someone.
If they give you a big long list of people, can you filter it out by, I just want to talk to the people in a certain country?
Can you sort it by country and things like that? Okay, like I said, it comes from answering questions that people have. We can go to a list by people, of people in the program. And in this case, they're here. You can sort by last name, first name, birth date, birthplace, death place, gender, and family tree. So if I go sort them all by birthplace, it'll put them all in the order by whatever they show up, wherever the first, ASCII character that's in their birthplace is going to show up.
And so those people are, no, wait a minute, a lot of them are dead. Okay, you were asking about how to contact?
Yeah, to contact.
For social networking purposes.
Oh, well, yeah, you can sort them out here, and then you can get all the living people. I mean, you just go through. Because you can sort them out by family tree, or you can sort them out by whatever.
So you just pick a person.
Yeah.
Is it just direct line we're talking about here?
No, you can go up and down as much as you want, across.
So you can go, I've got a fifth cousin.
Yeah, what's going to happen with the sources is it's going to keep adding anybody in those sources, so you're going to basically get everybody in any direction. Okay, well, let's let Brother Bergie